We're right here.
That needs some love.
Yeah.
Very cool.
That's what Lottie was looking for.
Yeah, so we can,
So that's perfect.
and then maybe before we even go out, we could just.
There, I just like, I love.
To
worry about Jack and shoot us.
And it is kind of raining like right now too, so I don't know, maybe by the time we go to do it, they'll clear up, but
Yeah, we'll just see.
Mom always said, do not make sugar.
Yeah. Not made sugar. Not sugar.
Does that show kind of the field across the way or not so?
It's just a little bit, I think.
Right, it kind of ends at Stevens parallel there.
Yeah.
We're on this flag.
Well,
It
not
is.
entirely.
That's over there.
Sure. Yeah, what a cool thing.
Is that the property?
Not entirely.
Not entirely, it is.
Bigger than that, right?
Well, actually, the far end where the trees are, that is where it ends.
Yeah,
But it's not showing back, so there's more,
goes back behind Stevens' house along the river.
yeah.
I know the river's at, I just don't know Stephen's house.
One right across.
I don't even know Steve, so I don't know size, but I know it's out of there, figured it out. Right here?
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
So. Yeah, so the property goes up to here
yeah,
and then along here and actually owns some there, goes down to the river, along the river here. All the way to the road here. And Stevens' house is here and the property goes back here
yeah.
to the road.
Okay, so it's like, maybe there's
That is this.
somewhere here.
Exactly.
15 acres.
Yeah.
Acres. And all that stuff behind Stevens' house back there is just woods pretty much.
All right, can you point to Stephen's house again? I think I'm
Right here, Stevens'
Right,
house.
okay.
So this is the kind of the field you see when you're driving in.
Right.
We used to own actually more up to about here, but these people wanted it, so.
Yeah, one of the families of that house.
But yeah, it goes right
Ken's
back.
house was named after.
That's just amazing. That's why those names are.
Stephen's also first name, so I thought it was like this Ish's house, this is Stephen's house.
Yeah.
It is.
Complex history is
Got
that.
it.
Ishmael's house is actually called Reed House.
Oh.
Because
I think that was,
the executive director here for a number of years, he lived there.
Yeah.
So were you the only one that lives on site?
House lives on in Andrew too.
and I'm here enough that I almost.
And we rent from the center.
Oh.
That'll be
Or
a
swear.
set of regulations.
Sorry.
To keep it on.
I worked for women at first sight.
Oh, alright.
Oh, we finish?
Oh, I don't know, no, I'm just.
With breakfast? Okay.
Thank you.
Shut it down for a little while.
I'll shut it down.
Oh.
No, she's also
Okay.
Oh,
Very good.
hi.
Oh,
Did you tell them?
want me to tell it?
Guys in office.
And see, I got the big guy. Do you want to bring up that other picture that you have just for Lottie? So that one gives you Google Earth. Maybe I can show people the mountains again.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I messed it up there for you. So the property, we're here right now. The property goes all the way to the tree line up there. On this side,
The road goes down.
Or on the other side.
yeah, that's Rockland Road where you turn right to come in here.
Yeah.
And there's a tree line which separates the house there, which also used to belong to the center as well at one point in time. So the property comes down here, also a bit of the land from the other side of the trail. And then over here, this is that field you see when you come in, and Stephen's house is right here. So the property goes all the way back here until the grove. And it follows the river along here. So there are like there is like a flat spot down there. We used to have sweat ceremonies down here by the river. They're now happening over there. But that's sort of the size, and then this gives you the drone footage that they captured last time they were here. So from this lot, you can sort of see where you were supposed to. I got it. You keep going up.
This looks like, you know how you play games on it
Yeah.
and you build your world?
Yeah.
Something like that, you open it up, you could build what you wanted on it.
Yeah.
Yes, she.
Simulation, I think,
Yeah.
and we were talking about that road that comes in. Maybe it could be closed off and only used for special vehicles that you need here.
Just one.
If you needed to bring stuff down to the end, then that would be used.
You mean the main road there,
No,
like?
no, the other road down the back,
Oh,
down
okay.
by the water.
The trail. Oh, the trail, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yes, well, that can be closed off. There is a barrier there now, and there can be, like signs put up, a vent going on, private only, or something like that to make sure people don't walk up from the trail.
For ceremonial purposes or something.
Yeah, yeah.
But you might need it too to bring in tractors or something that you need to bring in water. I don't know what you need to bring in.
Cause you're thinking about where you were thinking about the Longhouse was sort of in this area,
Yeah,
right? And then you were thinking there'd have to be some kind of.
between those two trees, somewhere along that line right
Yeah,
there.
there.
Yeah, right around about there.
That one's not trying.
Down there.
A little bit on the edge.
And we were talking, we were looking out the window, that's where we were, and we were looking out. And where that tavern, whatever it was, that was in there. You could put in a large medicine wheel, 4 points, and then you could put in the other, the other parts into 8. You could do traditional teachings in there. And in the center, you could have a fire where people could sit around where you burn. Then you would walk out with whatever part, like the mental, physical, whatever part of healing you're looking for. And maybe have somebody that worked in those areas to come you love to a point there where you would whatever you were about. That was something I thought of when I had seen it. Change it. One additional stuff, and then sweat lodges near it. I don't know, that's just one person, that's me, guys. But when you mentioned that before, that's what I see. Right, by 2 trees. Separate. Now, looking at the trees, there's trees further down here. But those ain't the ones. It's beautiful there, right? You don't know it's ready.
So Georgina's asking, will it be in the center or where are you thinking?
Center of what?
I think she's thinking of changing the labyrinth, so it brings in the medicine wheel colors. And that you can go out the east or the south or the north, depending on where you are in your healing. So can you zoom in on the labyrinth for a little bit?
Do I need the mics to come out? The air conditioner, did that help?
It might, can everybody hear okay?
Yeah, okay. Let me know.
This was something like what I seen out of it. Or it could even be in the shape of a turtle, and still a medicine wheel to 4 feet. If you're thinking of a building like that.
And then you were thinking of the Longhouse kind of behind that, over
Yeah.
to the water.
The 4 feet being in
Yeah.
directions.
Yeah.
The brook.
And then maybe on the side somewhere, I don't know,
Wonderful.
you would have a large sweat. And it would be all like in one area.
So this sort of the shell center be like the central gathering, and each of the beat be the four directions, whichever spiritual, mental, physical.
And learn to grow like, I don't know who you, but anyway, garden technique, medicines. And they used to do the circle gardens on the houses with, the walnut and something done. My mother used to make, and corn would be planted, some down the other corners around, and she said they feed on like that. On Pascali, that's what they call it. The first circle. So these were our gardens. And everything that they ate was planted in it. Because we had these seasons like the hurricanes. When the corn got grown down, it fell. But during these things, this way they had it set up, the corn would blow over. Everything held each other together. They had blueberries and strawberries. I don't know, I think it was they had, but it was four sisters or something like that.
Yeah, the corn, the beans, the squash, sunflower, and the sunflowers.
That roster.
Yeah, Erica organized a food sovereignty workshop here, and Judy built a turtle-shaped garden out back here and planted the four sisters in it. Corn was in the middle, and yeah, so it was done.
People and the cat one, like wasn't but they had a thing where they had all these big trees, blueberries, bushes, and stuff, and sage, cedar, sweetgrass, basil was growing up there.
We started that, Judy started that, we started a medicine trail that went down to the river. And I haven't been down to see if the sweetgrass is still going, but she planted like Bergosi and all these different medicines. And then whenever all the staff got laid off, somebody mowed it all down.
Oh,
Really? Yeah. So the medicine garden has to start again. And she built a medicine garden over by our house and it got plowed up. So it's like,
Who plows it?
that was Kent McDonald.
I was gonna say name them.
Thought it looked messy. And so we weren't living there at that time or we would have stopped it.
But there's still a circular space in our yard, but it looks even worse because now it's just
And there's
weeds
still,
growing up.
there's still some traditional plants in there, but not very super. Over a little bit more.
And you have a bigger spot on that side. Well, that was someone, I says, you could have a small
Oh, yeah,
alley
we
here. Where people could put these small trailers,
oh, up here.
no RVs.
Oh, yeah.
See, so you can see.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm trying to
Marshall
get
was
this.
saying there's more RV
There we go.
down the road.
so this
Where they could go.
was,
Okay.
Oh, yeah,
That's
It
what
was
was happening
big,
tomorrow. But
medicine,
ceremony.
It had all kinds of purple plants in there.
Like, at least cleared for tents, small campers.
Don't do that, like, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, if you have, if you're inviting people, you need somewhere to hold them. Yeah.
And, toilets,
Porta potties are,
yeah.
they get expensive, I don't know, so. Don't you able to have floor and yes, we would see the long house where the wrong people have a flat all that's radius all really. And they're going with who's got our house is being down there, that's true.
so I'm,
It's not simple.
I'm just gonna yeah.
A long turtle. Is that what you said?
Much fun now, eh? I mean, I think more.
Yeah, no. I do have some, like, I got Chat GPT to render up some Longhouse designs. I do have a few pictures. I just, yeah, that's it. I didn't incorporate the turtle, so, yeah.
I'm wondering if there's a lot of different conversations going on. So I'm wondering if we can bring it into one conversation.
Now it's clear.
And just to share whatever thoughts you have from the presentation we had this morning, or talking about, we'll be doing more visioning later about all the center, but to talk about some of the things that come up for you when we talk about the Longhouse, some of the feelings that come up for you, some of the things that you want to see happen in there. So I just thought we've got about 45 minutes until lunch. And so we could see how far we could go around the circle with what are people's thoughts around the Longhouse and what that means to you, what that feels like, or whatever you want to share. So we'll start. Gina.
I've only seen Longhouse twice. Just each and every one of us seen that. But what we need to do is to make it our own. We must have everything that our people need. They come for a healing, for everything that they need. And more people come need to help up, or I don't think this is so much about getting it ready, guilty, but it's part of it. This we can concentrate on our healing. I could heal in a ditch. Somebody to listen to me. When you come down for it, it's up to you how you want to live your life and take it from there. If you think that it will help to deal with a group of people, then by all means do so. But it's up to you on the healing stuff.
Sure.
A big building. We show everything else is there. Is there, needs to be, has to be. It's there.
Oh, no way. Oh, yeah, we're doing contrary.
We're doing the contrary. She's a contrary spirit, so that's okay. We'll go in.
Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna back it up to 2016, when we went to Winnipeg. When I first started.
That's too short.
It was through writing relations.
Yeah, it might have even been before that. Yeah, it was sometime back then.
So anyway, we kind of ran away, me, Jane, Andrea, and who else? We went to the Turtle Lodge to go see Dave Crochet. And he did a pipe ceremony when we were there, and I asked if there would be turtle lodges like the one in Sagene around here. Don't have any real healing centers or healing lodges. He said, yeah, I see them coming. So I was part of one of the first ones in List Mission. I don't know, like 5 years ago now. And I think that's also important to have this, all the elements that were included in the Turtle Lodge out west to have some of those elements here. There they had a thunder princess, Sundance grounds, the actual building, which was all made by volunteers. They had money. And it was people from all over Canada that helped. I just want to see that for Brady Boots, Longhouse, and a Turtle Lodge.
Thanks. I guess like I've been coming to the center for 2 years now and getting to learn with God in first light, women first light, and their spirit. And I just see it as a place to gather safely, and that it's not a compromise, it's never a compromise. I feel like we're always in spaces having to adjust to make them work. For whatever we're doing, but to have a place that's purpose built or it in the first place will make such a difference and people will feel more comfortable and open to ceremony because it doesn't feel like they're compromising or that they don't belong there. So I think just what I envision is a space that embodies culture in a way that when you come in, you feel the hug of everyone that's been in that building and you see yourself reflected in the space. So,
Yeah, this is my second time here, and I think I said it last night, but the site itself is really magical and being kind of at the intersection of the river and the bay. I think it's hearing about, Judy doing a medicine walk, the interaction outside of the building that I think I'm really excited about to not just think about what needs to happen inside, but that there's space for sweat or space for medicine and planting and stuff outside, that it all kind of works together. So yeah, excited about that. So that will work.
I've had a lot of ideas. Um, and Veric and I have talked a lot about different ideas and what we could incorporate into the building, into the teachings, like, making sure that there is we don't know what to call it yet, so I'm just gonna call it a men's shed. Because we recognize that men seem to need to do things with their hands a lot more. So like, not just men, but two-spirited too, I'm not gonna, but so we were thinking of like a work shed kind of thing where, we're kind of deal, and just things like that, uh, I'm blanking now because honestly, I was listening to Georgina talk and I was just like, maybe we don't need all these things right at the beginning and they can just evolve as they evolve and maybe it all will be shaped together. Because at first I was thinking of it as all individual, I don't like the word projects, but individual ideas are in my head. And yeah, so I'm kind of just a blank slate right now, which is interesting for me because as Mom and Verica both know, I've had a lot of ideas when it comes to this recreation stuff and what we could do on the land and how we could use it to not work with the land to help future generations. And I think that's where my main focus has been stuck. Instead of looking at the full picture, I've been focused on what do the youth need, what do the future generations need, what are we going to need to do for them, instead of looking at the whole picture as, it's a building, not just future generations, but it's also a building for us. And healing all of those parts. And when I say that, I mean, like, because when I talk about healing for the future generations, I mean like us healing for the future generations, so we don't have to keep living the same circles, but I was more focused on the youth than my own personal healing. And I honestly don't know why I'm sharing this right now. But it's a really amazing to be in this circle and to be a part of this and to be here to hear hear little bits because it's things that I've been feeling and knowing for a long time in my heart. And to just have that confirmation that maybe I have worth. Is huge for me. Because I don't leave my house anymore. I suffer from social anxiety, PTSD. I'm a survivor because of a survivor. I don't leave my house anymore. I don't even go to the store unless mom is so tired she can't do it. Because I go to the store and I sit in the parking lot for at least 20 to 30 minutes before I can even get the nerve to walk in that door. Because I know there's people going to be in that store. And I can't do peopling anymore. My anxiety goes through the roof. Because I'm always I don't know, I'm scared of being judged. I'm scared of I don't take my kids anywhere because people judge us all the time. There's no camp here. It's like the closest camp is what, 2 hours? I think away that will take my kids. The Morton's camp won't because they have special needs. So when we first started working towards Rematration, it gave me hope. Because this is the only time I feel safe to come out of my house. Is when we're in circle here. And so for me and for others like me, this is huge. Just even the thought of having somewhere safe where we can just be us and not have to worry about putting on those social masks or dealing with anything that we have to deal with in town. I need that. Because I'm sick and tired of my bedroom. Because right now that's where I am whenever I am not doing anything for being a mother. Because that's where my office is. That's where my computer desk is. That's where my bed is. And I'm tired. I'm tired of not being able to feel safe to just leave my house. And I know that's partly my healing, and I've been working on it, trust me and my therapist every week. But it's still, I still struggle with it. And I know it's because we need a place that is safe in all aspects of the word. And I mean that in I know it's hard for me because it's still so colonial out there, but like I don't let anybody other than the few people that I trust, and it's a handful of people to watch my kids. I don't get a break. Mom and I shift off all the time. And even in this building, I don't feel safe bringing them here. Because my nonverbal autistic son is a flight risk. He'll take off and he has no, what's that word?
Yeah.
he has no boundaries, but he also has no depth perception. Like, and my oldest sees in 2-dimensional and has balance issues. I want to be able to take them somewhere safe, but allow them to be in community because my son doesn't know anything about Native culture. Because I've been cooped up in my house for too long. And any time that we get to be in a circle like this, it's too hard to have both my kids with us and be a part of circles, so then mom and I are always going back and forth. Hanging it out is what we call it. So for me, yeah, it's literally just be able to have a place to go where I can find community. That's what I need out of this. Thank you.
This is for the like we're just sharing ideas with the lodge, right? No, one, I can't relate on the same level, but I do know, like, takes me a while to get out and do traveling by myself, like, cause I'm always so, anxious about my, heart condition, and there's a lot of dead cellular service, so that's usually where the fright comes in. But when thinking about the lodge, when you were talking about the workshop, like for men, and even just having that space to do workshops, I remember being part of, those were my happy place when we were doing men's gathering and men's group, and we did the lodge here, and it really felt like sorry, I'm just gonna take this off.
Yeah, that's fine.
Just the shape of what Ishbel was talking about on how we made the lodge, and all of us just sitting in that position really like created this energy kind of space. And when they were bringing it up, safe space, and it kind of reminded me of what you were talking about, with the energies you're feeling when you're out in the world, and the safe space is your home, but you're feeling a little too cooped up at home. And it was just nice to come here and feel that type of energy. And when everybody was coming and everybody was manifesting that type of safe space. And with what Ishbel brought up with, because I see a lot with my sister and the struggles that she has too with the same issue. And a lot of people that know Wazi, we all love seeing her run and play, but everybody's a little self-conscious because of new eyes or new people. And, that's a lot of, you feel vulnerable. You just want, everything is, but like it's unpredictable, and you don't know those types of stigmas and judgments. And it's just like, it makes you want to push back into the safe zones. And like, when you're thinking about places like for you, my sister, and a lot of that type of space to like come together and not feel so alone. And I don't know really much about, the structure. It's so great, cool seeing how you guys are implementing the elements and making those, like putting it into like, building. But I think just like sharing just the elements and just sharing like, the big think without thinking limits, and then you can get the source information, put in what you like. Like, I think like using when you guys were talking about medicines and garden, I think that's great. And I think, with the having a safe space for people that are, the two-spirited, finishing that circle. I liked whoever mentioned that. It might have been Kathy, but, just kind of covering all the types of people that were all in the community at the beginning, so it's just kind of a space that welcomes and feeds all of that, all of those types of people where everybody can just feel like, valued of who they are, what place they are, but also connected as one with everybody in the space. So, but yeah.
Alright, hard to just sit. I have ADHD, very. That's, God, I wish just the city.
I showed up a couple hours ago, so I really understand. I work here. I started as the director here about 4 months ago, so I'm pretty good. I'm happy to get to meet you all I haven't met today. So thanks for allowing me to. And yeah, I mean, I won't say much about buildings or anything like that. This is really not my expertise, my place. But I will say that basically I'm here to try and help manage the logistics and the actual doing of whatever the vision is. So whatever that is, I'll do my best to try to help make it a reality here with the current reality of running this place. I will say that having spent a lot of time on the grounds now, everything's here. There's rocks and water and trees and all sorts of different plants and fields and everything you could ever need is here. So I'm looking forward to and happy to see that there are people thinking about it with care and trying to envision what it needs to be for people in the future.
I don't really know much about longhouses. What's your main research? Love that. Oh, there you go. But I never thought about thinking of buildings like different elements, like the building can say a story. Wow, never really thought about that. We don't really have a lot of thinking of being creative, but I thought you can implement so many different things, the space design alone, but yeah, I mean, the good ideas, what we could have, and how we utilize over there, having bathhouse or you can do ceremony side of water or saunas, different things, but yeah, the feelings about Longhouse, I did watch a video with this our story. Someone talked about how they have a longhouse like in the woods, but they're part of like regular society, or they're like, we don't tell people that we sleep in a longhouse, but they show up for their like corporate job, like on the big woods, and it's almost like it's like not like a secret, but yeah, we don't tell everybody that they still sleep in the longhouse. And you can see, like, this is probably like 15 years ago. I think it's somewhere in maybe the States, New York, maybe somewhere. And they were just sharing like their feelings on how he was born in the Longhouse, and it was on our side. Yeah, and just sharing like how excited they were to talk about it, but not too loud. Like, oh yeah, we don't want to share because people will come and tear it down, But just the comfort, and how different it was. That yeah, we sleep in a longhouse. I'm like, what? What do you even, just regular clothes, right in the world, and it just seems so different. But like right there, it's just hidden. Yeah, and I think it'd be nice to have it so it's open, or we could, take a deep breath and, hold our head up and release space again. And I don't know, I think it's the last time we had one was
yeah, hundreds of years ago. So, yeah, that would be amazing. But, I don't know if I know what Longhouse is, that's done.
I've been doing a lot of thinking and, all of these things just pop into my head. But I mean, I'm not the only one that has that. And I was thinking like maybe on the wall, you could record yourself with some of your ideas on what you think you would like to see. And bring them off and bring them, make it happen more than likely. But when I see this, the aerial view of this place, that's what I thought about. Building your own kingdom. This could be like our of the world, fantasy land of what we want and want to see. And it doesn't have to be exact. I thought that it would look nice that way, but it's what everybody wants. Like where we should put these things, where would it work best? And maybe get somebody to come in that has an idea how to put these buildings in order. You know, when somebody talked about having a small camp, or small little cottage, somewhere where they could lodge some people, or like even Tasha, we could bring in people that had expertise on that working with handicapped children, had an area for these children, where they could be kept in this little house with maybe with their parents or something. And bring everybody together where they could come for a weekend. If they have a day camp up here, you would have a weekend camp here. And then bring everybody together for supper, would be a barbecue or whatever you have. There's all kinds of possibilities there. And we have to be sure that it fits everyone. We can't leave people up. We have an awful lot of homeless people on our skirts. We have a lot of bad alcohol, drugs, suicides. And most communities, our people are dying. If it is from alcohol or drugs or suicide or murder, then they're dying from I don't know what. High blood pressure, heart attack, stroke. My daughter was 49 when she died. And she died from a stroke. We've had strokes in our family. My brother was 49. You know, and then my other brother, he just passed away. He died of stroke also, and he was 83, 84 this year. You know, so we have all these people. And what do we do when we have people that are therapists? And I don't know if it would get people to volunteer some of their time. I'm here on certain days to help each other. You know, and who do we bring in? Native all people. You know, we have to, you're helping one, you have to help all. You know, even though it could be indigenous land, but we have to be open for the people outside that are also suffering. I don't know, these are just my thoughts. But, and I says, like, maybe when you go walk around the land, and you would see a nice spot, maybe where you would have. Where somebody had seen a little teardrop trailer out here. Yeah, that was cute. Somebody could bring me a couple of them, you know. I don't know. But if you're going to open up to a little camp area, then you'd have to restrict, I think, the RVs, because they take up a lot of space. And when you look, you have enough room for that. And then there's the costs. And who's going to maintain the buildings, you know? Who's going to maintain the property? You have to have a caretaker that probably have to live here year round. Get a Jeep or something, a small Jeep that we could run these roads and see what's happening, make sure that they're not broken into and have security. There's a whole lot. I mean, you have to look at it all as well. It looks hard, or, you know, but it can be done. It's done in good purpose. And I'm sure we can do it if we're this far and keep on going. Awesome.
Maybe we could, I think, I'm sure maybe we can hear everybody without the microphone. I'm just not sure if it's being recorded, if anybody would be able to hear. Kind of goes, yeah, maybe without the microphone, maybe. Only because, I don't think anybody, it seems like to be only half the mic seems to be working in there. I'm not sure.
Here's the Jeff, and we talk into the mic.
Or to like,
Extended mic though, can we just put this over?
yeah, or maybe, we just like, yeah, maybe get rid of the mic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
And we can close this until the circle done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jeff. And Erica just had to run to the bus station in Truro to pick up Andrew Curley, so that's why she had to leave.
No, this is my top.
All right.
It's a lot quieter.
Second, have my husband very
Yeah, you didn't realize how loud that was.
All right, Erin.
All right. So growing up, I had no idea about culture, who I was. I didn't even know I was Mi'kmaq. I just knew I was an Indian in school as a kid. That's all I knew. Didn't know the language. I heard it, but I was not to speak it. So as my father recovered from his addictions by gaining his culture, and I was about, I think, 15, 16, 17 years old, something like that. It was foreign because he was learning other ways that we weren't even familiar with. And then he's bringing that home. And it's like trying to force that on us. The Catholic religion was forced on us. And then forcing indigenous knowledge on us. And it's like, whoa, I don't even know what that is. Like, get away from me. Don't bring that smudge bowl near me. And I remember in the house, I would tell my mother, I said, oh my God, Mom, Dad would just stop singing and beating that drum. It's annoying. Because it really was annoying because it was absolutely foreign to us until we started learning who we were as a family, as being indigenous and learning their ways. So my father gained his sobriety through that, and we've learned so much. So in our communities to this day, there are still people that don't understand our culture, even though because we're all on a learning curve, I guess. And then one of the things is, and I've noticed it, is that we are using other cultural ways from out west, from down south, the Dakotas, that I don't think we're ever familiar, that were never part of the Mi'kmaq culture. But I think that's okay because I think as a whole unit of indigenous people within the continent, I think we're just borrowing from each other now. I can't say we're keeping it, but I can think we're using it. So even with the Longhouse, I don't even know if that was part of who we were, because I don't know. So it's even foreign to me, but I'm always about learning, always about understanding more. And it sounds great because I think because a lot of our people that are in this province are not only Mi'kmaq anymore, it's all other indigenous women and men from different cultures, whether you are Cree, Blackfoot, Inuit, Métis, and those that have lost their status through the years who are Mi'kmaq or who are other forms of other indigenous cultures and things like that. So listening all morning and knowing about some of the centers here, a bit like we have the Resilience Center for Nova Scotia Native Women, and a lot of pieces are put into that. Learning about the ones that you guys discussed this morning on the presentation that I didn't even know existed other than the Halifax, the Friendship Center one. So now I have to go see the one that's already built. I forget the name of it.
The Diamond Bailey feelings.
I need to go to the one in Halifax. I just want to see these now. And I think I can't give a lot of input into what we're doing here because I just have, I'm an observer. I have to think a bit and I have to let that idea grow. What would that look like? What do I think I want to input into that? So that's me, just kind of being lost here, I guess, and just trying to navigate this and trying to figure out what that would look like. What would this building look like? Like this, what would the whole grounds look like? Everything about the whole area. What would it look like? What would it all become? Without upsetting, again, I heard about the burial grounds and I've seen some at that end of the property. And where are the rest of them? Just like we had so many unmarked graves in Canada, are there some over here that we don't want to upset? Do we need to bring in, what do they call it? LiDAR. That's the thing, yeah, and ensure that we're not going to disrespect one's lane there. And I think that's very important on these grounds because, like I said, it's a burial ground over there. And I think that's one of the things that, right now, my point in, for me, that's my biggest concern right now is respecting those that are laying within the grounds here everywhere. I don't know where. And maybe there's nobody where we want to be, but just to make sure that there isn't.
Yeah, I think all of your ideas are awesome. You're really cool. I want you and your team to build my house. I'm not building a house, but now you've inspired me to. I like God's idea of, the turtle and the 4 feet being the directions and each one sort of dedicated. Maybe the head as a place for carolage or star stories. And I just want to remind everybody as you're going forward to make sure you're bringing the youth in to ask them what they want. Thinking forward, how will it serve them? What do they need? You've got representatives from, the men's group, but obviously, a lot of elders, but, you want it to be a place of intergenerational healing and intergenerational learning, right? And I see the turtle in my head, the 4 feet, and then, food gardens and medicinal gardens. And, I can close my eyes and see, grandkids, 5 generations from now, utilizing it. And I think it'll be beautiful. So, I don't think it needs to be overcomplicated. There's like Erica said, the Turtle Lodge in Winnipeg, some of the things Chris and Ardina, sorry, have brought in the Resiliency Center in Millbrook. There's a lot to pull from. So, it can seem overwhelming, but what's the expression? Like, have you been an elephant one bite at a time, right? Just step by step. And yeah, I think you guys are awesome. And again, thank you for inviting me. Team Anxiety, because I spent 3 hours on Friday thinking how I could cancel and not come because it was big scary. But you're not that scary. I'm glad I got brave.
Dude. Well, I'm kind of the oddball, and I was laying over there because of my back, but had a vision, and it's my mom. She said that the Longhouse has to be built over there. She showed part of the road, but I seen it when I came in. There's like cement things there blocking it. But that right there by the water. And she said, Deuce, it's like a magical stew pot. She said, when you look at everybody that sits in the circle, you're not looking at them as humans. You're looking at them as Mother Earth. Because generations have come through each and every one of you. And you are who you are because of your ancestors. Our generations that have come down, that's who you are. And she said, you have a big mouth. And I've taught you to stand up and to speak your truth. She says, so that magical stew pot should be put out empty. And everybody that has an idea, write it down, draw it, and put it in there. So they can let their ideas be released into this magical stew pot to be honoring the Longhouse. And every moccasin doesn't fit every person. Everybody's different, and you add to it. We can learn from each other. And yes, we have to stand up because we have a lot of intergenerational trauma. But labeling, I'm tired of people labeling us. I was brought up, who would have thought that I'd become a master educator, teacher, teaching children? When I grew up, I thought I was stupid, dumb Indian. And then learning that I had dyslexia all my life. So when my students come in, I teach them every which way to learn one
question or problem that they need solved, and one of them would say, oh, that's how you do it. It's so simplified. You don't have to make things so darn elaborate and over the top. When we simplify things, it makes it easier. We're not looking to be grandiose. We're not looking for big palaces. We're looking for somewhere that we can go for healing, to share, to build our strength within each other. I grew up knowing that I was a woman. And in school, I was called wagon burner when they found out that I was Mi'kmaq. Or my indigenous family called me old hunky because I was blonde hair, blue eye. I said, hey, that's not my fault. Like my mom and dad got together and showed each other love or whatever, and they produced me. So I'm here on Mother Earth to do my job and to be the best I can. Even though for over 40 years, I've kept dark secrets within myself of being raped and abused, and finally going to court and standing up and speaking my truth and facing the individual, but also having forgiveness for him. Because my mother was about forgiveness, accountability, and justice. That's why when she spoke, people listened. She had the biggest heart, and people would spat out negativity at her. And she had so many wonderful people, Lottie May, standing there. And Mom wasn't a fighter, but she had all her I's dotted, her T's crossed. She had her paperwork, she had duplicates, she had copies. And when they stole all her hard, many years that she searched to help our survivors of the Shubenacadie Indian Residential School survivors, to win that case in Ottawa, she had backup. That's how smart she was. She had backup of what our family stole, all the original documents. She was a powerhouse. And every one of you sitting here are very powerful. And it's an honor to be in this circle. So remember, we each have a say, but let's not overdo it. Let's simplify it. If we need a place to go and sit and talk and have a nap, let's put some bunk beds in there, built right on the walls. Let's have some seats there. Let's have the kitchen on the side. Let's have a little bathroom on the side. And I love that feeling of turtle, the shape of the turtle. It means so much to me. You know, a jar on Turtle Island. You know, we all are brothers and sisters. And let's just keep moving forward and keep welcoming. And we know that we're perfectly imperfect. People have done things that they walk with their heads down. And I'm speaking in regards to my son. He spent almost 20 years in prison, and more than over half of that time he was in solitary confinement. He was stabbed. I almost lost him twice. I know that my mother has forgiven him. My son speaks big. He was her favorite. Drugs and alcohol kill our people, and we have to know that. He was not that little baby that she opened the door to. We have to love each other. We have to forgive. Because you know, who's to say one day that we may do something and society teaches us to hate people.
or they did something bad, you have to hate them. Wow. What in their life chose them to go down that path, that journey? And that Longhouse, I believe, should be a place for forgiveness, accountability, and justice for everybody, for healing. Wapna'kikewi'skwaq. Is that so?
I'm sitting all about it. I remember when they came, after that, there was an investigation. I told her Paul right away, I said, we don't have the money to repay it.
Yeah.
So when we came, a lot was missing. And I told him, she says, bring everything you have. And I did, because I used to do the minutes.
Yeah.
And even though we had a secretary that done, I used to do my own.
Yeah.
So I have those.
You're on
It
the
still does.
Yes, and thank you. Thank you for being nice, but thank you.
Tony was the other one, she, anything went wrong, she would call. He was a band manager for 25 years. And there wasn't much that he didn't know.
Yeah.
About the law, whatever's band.
You guys were her staffing. Guys held
there and,
to be able to
support me, what's, yeah.
And I can't wait till my book does come out and everything is laid out. I said, people are gonna like me and people are gonna dislike me, but oh well, that's the way it is. The truth is the truth.
That's funny, nobody was ever charged of it.
I know.
Even when the cat settlement went through, none of the priests and nuns were charged.
See?
Except for those that went through individually.
I found 2 of them in Quebec, living in like a palace. And I tell my students that, and I speak about Father Mackey. Everything that we grew up, since I was 2.5, 3 years old, he learned, everything was about the residential school. So we know it like back end of our hand.
They taught it in my schools. Like I know it's not taught here. I grew up in Winnipeg, and from kindergarten on, we learned residential schools.
Wow, that's amazing to me, because my students didn't have a clue. But the residential school just over the hill.
It's like we learned more as we aged, right? But they started that in kindergarten.
Oh, that's amazing.
Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's amazing.
Oh, sunshine.
It's lunchtime.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll just, wrap up quickly by saying some ideas, that Tosh and I have talked about is we want to rename the lodge the Nora Bernard Lodge.
Mm.
And have a picture of her up in there and a write-up of her story. So we're just presenting that to everyone, that we've been thinking about that for a while. And your mom to me was, like Women of First Light, we talk about unconditional love, and your mom epitomized unconditional love. And we talk about Women of First Light, that's one of our values, and we all work towards that. No gossiping, no whatever, but your mom was it. You'd walk into her house and there could be a pile of survivors in there, and she made every single person feel welcomed and feel loved. And so that's one of the things that we'd like to do to honor her, and to have a picture of her and have a write-up of her in that lodge. With your permission, of course.
Yeah, it's strange because I've been thinking of her the past few months. I think it was ever since I heard this drum group and Philip that wanted to change the name. And I was gonna tell them, choose Eastern Thunder. Well, it was for Nora. And I said, if they did, this group would stand up. But I never told them. I said, maybe I should have, I don't know. Then other things, I thought of somebody writing a book on her. With that name as well, Eastern Thunder. That was her name that was given to her. So, like, women of first light, they're from the east. And she's from the east. And when they took part in the TRC, I was chosen because I was from the east. They had to cover 7 areas, but nobody covered the east. And I told them, I says, Matt, nobody is, because of Nora and our group. She was the one that got this together and got people together across Canada that won this settlement. I says, but nobody has mentioned her in this. And I says, in our area in Nova Scotia, nobody seems to remember that there was a residential school there. So that's how we got this one here. And when we came in, we done 7 fires, and it was based on the 7 sacred teachings. And the area here, when it was done in Halifax, our area was love. So it seems to all tie in. And to name a place after, I think, be a great honor. People so forget it.
And for all her survivors. That just. I'll speak so can be all day now. Gosh.
And the other thing that we've been working on, which hopefully will happen soon, is getting copies made of the peak caps that were made for the missing and murdered Indigenous women. So the library at Dalhousie is going to make a set, and we've got the original photographer training them, and then we're going to put them up all around here, and along with the little write-ups of whose peak cap it is, who it's in honor of. And I was even thinking when at one during your display, we were talking about the Longhouse and the roof, and I thought, wow, would it ever be cool if the roof looked like a peak cap? Just one thought that came to me. But I know it's lunchtime, and I'm just going to say, I think the biggest thing is picking up on what Guff said about that energy, because we've done that, been able to do that here a couple of times where we've created that energy inside. And it's almost like similar to, when you're in that sweat lodge and the energy, and it's like that, whatever it is, needs to have that energy that makes you feel safe, that makes you feel like you're being hugged, that just creates that energy, the way that the shape has something to do with it. And I don't understand it, but I feel it and experience it. Yeah. So let's take lunch. Lunch is 12:30 to 1:30. We can check around 1:30 to see when the pharmacy is going to be ready. They said they were closed 5 today.
Yes. 3 o'clock, remember? 3 p.m.
So about 3, yeah. Okay. And then when we come back, if some of the folks want to walk the land, depending if it's not, I want to. I know, we have on the list that Lottie needs a comb.
It was just downpouring, so it's.
Okay, so we'll kind of see how things feel and take it from there. So if it's downpouring, we can come back here and we can either continue the discussions or move on to some of the other discussions that we need to have. That seem okay?
Yeah.
And at some point.
What she said, the magic pot is kind of the idea of
Magical stew pot.
Yeah.
Pot.
So, yeah, so Erica's gonna lead us through a stew pot process.
Yeah, very quick, because I don't like public.
We have sticky notes for you and stuff.
Yeah, well, everyone's gonna,
Okay, sounds, do you know where they are, Tosh? They were in the bag that had the water bottles in the top of that.
It's in the office.
Okay, all right.
It's in our new office.
Okay, so, who wants to offer to run the elevator and take Georgina and Lottie downstairs by elevator so they don't have to get wet going into the golf cart?
That's fine. There's bags. Still learn how to use it. Oh, no. I like it. Tosh learned.
And I guess we know who's doing.
I know.
Oh, nothing.
Being I got all the students, I got the abs.
It says two at a time, so it'll be.
Two trips.
Two trips.
Girl.
Which one was first? Yeah.
That's where the one person.
I'm not sure what's for.
Yeah. A trip.
For the elevator?
Yes.
Do you have to be in there to operate it, or can you just?
Yeah.
No, it has to be in there to operate it. I have to go up and down.
More than two people.
We'll throw them on the ground.
Well, then.
It's pretty tight.
I pushed only two
Oh.
at a time.
Weight restriction only two, so. What was
So
that called?
don't take these
Elevator
stairs if you're
person.
going to take those stairs. Because these stairs are curved and easier
Yeah.
to have difficulties with. Those stairs are better. And maybe Jen could walk down.
Yep.
You, Georgina. Okay, and not even go in the elevator.
Oh, she don't trust the elevator.
I'll walk until there's.
And I don't blame her.
Yeah.
No.
It's weird.
Oh, I don't care, I'm brave.
We were just thinking like, it's gonna go down.
You're a big bet.
It wasn't
We'll
working,
know
so
where
it
I'm
went down. It's
Well,
shoot,
that's a
straight,
lot.
you know, yeah.
But that's that it wasn't working, it was that I didn't know how to operate it right.
Oh, you didn't.
I didn't know how to operate it right, so I didn't hold the button long enough. So that's why it didn't.
They could jump up and down.
It's all done fast. No, I'll take the stairs. Oh, yeah, they'll go right with the
That'll
girl.
help, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I should have to go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, geez, I can feel that already.
Okay. You know, I've met you before, and I believe we were on the book.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
I was like, I know that pretty lady, I had her.
Because I mentioned to Chris, I was like, I've been somewhere that she's been at Burger Talk and on all that. Then I was sitting here and I got like, oh, book club.
That's what it was.
Yeah, she's never had one in a while.
No,
I want Nancy for another one, but it's a lot of work for her.
it is.
It takes a lot of her personal time.
Yeah,
to do it. So
but she's fabulous at it.
yeah, I love it. I got so many of my books from her.
Oh, yes. I'm gonna take those steps on in my mind too. You have to go up to, I'm getting the tip stuff, and I'm getting my son one, and getting Rick one. No, I'm not going outside today. What's this? There's a pair of shoes on. You got your water bottle?
Yeah.
Correct. I'm gonna grab these ski cups, so don't, no, I can't because I'll fall. I have to move my skirt up.